Continuing the countdown of my top 10 favourite TV shows of all time, we visit a galaxy far, far away at a time of war. One incredible, beautiful war. Yeah, not really the words I expected to come out of my mouth, but hey, we're here. It's Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Welcome to Hakuna MaChatter, the diversity in film and TV discussion channel, helping you to better understand the importance of diversity in film and TV. It's never a difficult decision for me to put Star Wars in a top 10 list where film and TV are concerned, and it's made even easier by the Clone Wars. Taking a deeper dive into the Clone Wars, first mentioned all the way back in A New Hope, this TV show opens up, visits, and develops a pivotal time in the Star Wars universe. A time that, for me at least, is largely glossed over in the films. Okay, so sure, the films are telling a more succinct story, but the bookend marking of the Clone Wars by Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith always left me feeling a little bit empty and wondering what episode 2 was really leading up to. Enter George Lucas and Dave Filoni to give us all the answers, but at the same time open up a bunch load of new questions. What the Clone Wars does brilliantly is to expand on the different aspects of war and how different groups in the Star Wars universe are affected by it. We get to see more of the Jedi in action, the likes of Plo Koon, Kit Fisto, Ayala Secura, Shark T, Ki-Adi-Mundi, and Luminara play prominent roles along with others. The clones are given individual personalities and names, and we, the audience, fall in love with such clones as Rex, Cody, Fives, Echo, Gregor, and Wolf. We begin to see more of the political dealings in the Senate through Padme and Bail Organa as they try to end the war through diplomacy and interact with oppositions on the political spectrum. We are introduced to Ahsoka Tano, Padawan of Anakin Skyguy, and now an invaluable character within the Star Wars universe. And finally, we get more of Anakin's descent into the dark side, making it a cleverly engineered process as opposed to a sudden decline. So let's talk my favourite season, episode, character, and the diversity within the show. Starting with my favourite season, and this really links to some of my favourite episodes within the show. I say episodes as a lot of the time in Clone Wars, story arcs happen over 4 consecutive episodes, allowing for larger stories to be told. And this came in abundance in Season 5. Starting with the war on Onderon, and we see the training of Steela and Saw Gerrera, the latter becoming a favourite returning character in future Star Wars stories. We move on to the arcs of 6 younglings finding their Kyber crystals, along with Ahsoka Tano taking on pirates and General Grievous, and R2-D2 and a merry band of droids who find a missing in action clone commando and unravel a plot to blow up leading members of the Jedi Order. It's the final 2 arcs of this season, however, that really shine. Firstly, Darth Maul and his brother Savage Opress's plot of taking over Mandalore and eventually facing off with Darth Sidious, and secondly, the framing of Ahsoka for murdering a bomber of the Jedi Temple that leads her to eventually leaving the Jedi Order and Anakin losing his apprentice and friend. Of all these arcs, my favourite is that of Darth Maul and Savage Opress. Mandalore is a planet we see a bit throughout the series, and its leader Duchess Satine keeps Mandalore neutral during the Clone Wars. However, this falls apart once the Sith are involved, and even though Obi-Wan runs in to try and rescue his long-standing love interest, Mandalore falls into civil war. As much as Darth Vader may appear to be Obi-Wan's arch-nemesis, I think there's no real dispute in saying that Darth Maul is actually Obi-Wan's nemesis. After killing Qui-Gon and presumably dying at the hands of Obi-Wan, Maul returns, killing Satine, and later in Star Wars Rebels threatening the life of Luke, all to see Obi-Wan crumble. And yet, throughout it all, Obi-Wan remains resolute. Side note, I love that Duchess Satine is named after Nicole Kidman's character from Moulin Rouge. Of course, Ewan McGregor also starred in Moulin Rouge, as we know, playing Obi-Wan in the prequel trilogy. What a touch. My favourite character throughout is a difficult one to decide. Obi-Wan has always been one of my favourite characters in Star Wars, and this is my favourite iteration of Anakin. The voice actors James Arnold Taylor and and Matt Lanter are amazing in their respective roles, and it is a joy to listen to them. The new characters introduced also helped to making this a very tough decision. Ahsoka, Rex, Fives, Hondo Anaka, and who am I kidding? It's definitely Hondo Anaka. Like, seriously, I definitely think Hondo is my favourite character in the Clone Wars. The devious plots he leads Anakin, Obi-Wan and Ahsoka down, and even Count Dooku, make for some great entertainment. And what about his one-liners? The best being his response to Darth Maul.
You will pay for your insolence.
Insolence? We are pirates! We don't even know what that means!
Comedy gold! Moving into the show's diversity, and it's always an interesting one with animation and in particular Star Wars. With animation, it's fully possible to represent a full spectrum of people and double that for sci-fi and fantasy. With Star Wars, human races are never discussed, they're never a focal point of who a character is. Species, of course, is a different story, but all the species in Star Wars are fictional, so there's nothing really to discuss there. Star Wars does, however, have different cultures and traditions in abundance, and I think it's key that there is a diverse pool of different cultures. I suppose the closest we can get to any altercations between different species is in the story arc set on Mon Cala, the home planet of Admiral Akbar. In this story arc, we see the Mon Calamari people fall into dispute with the Quarren people, a species they share the planet with. Similar to the humans and the Gungans on Naboo, the Mon Cala people and the Quarren people come together to fight a common enemy, and they realise that this helps for their planet to prosper and move forward. A valuable lesson, I think. Gender diversity in the Clone Wars is great. Ahsoka, Padme and Ventress leading the charge on this. Each are given space to develop and have their own story arcs, and in particular Ahsoka and Ventress really change and evolve from where they begin to where they end. Other notable female characters include the aforementioned Steela Gerrera and Duchess Satine, but there's also Barriss Offee and Mother Talzin as well. There is one sticking point with the diversity in the show, and that is the voicing of the clones. Originally played by Tamura Morrison, an actor of Maori heritage in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, in animation they are voiced by American actor D. Bradley Baker. Now look, I'm in no way enraged by this whatsoever. As an actor, it is a weird situation when accents come into play. They are an invaluable tool for an actor, especially a voice actor, and D. Bradley Baker does an incredible job voicing each and every single clone in the show. I think also the fact that, as I mentioned before, human races are never a talking point within the Star Wars universe, and the clones at no point exhibit Maori culture, at least as far as I know. It's really just a minor observation rather than a complaint in any kind of way. The clones are just clones. They are just that, and they are soldiers bred for a single purpose. It's a shame Tamura didn't voice the clones in this TV series. I'm sure there are reasons as to why. It's just a shame. Overall, The Clone Wars is a fantastic TV show and a wonderful insight into a pivotal moment within the Star Wars universe that expands on the films and the lore, and more than merits its spot on this list. So next I move on to place number 8, and winter is here. And make sure you subscribe, turn on your notifications, and check out these other videos while you are here. Hakuna MaChatter.